Good morning, crime community. Just here to talk about Mary Shelley. She wrote Frankenstein. Yesterday I was talking about Edgar Allan Poe, and I came across some initials that I didn't know what they were, and I found out that it belonged to Mary Shelley's mother. Mary Shelley's mother was the first female feminist in London, and she had Mary Shelley, and her mother died 5 days after she was born. So the first thing Mary learned to do, and like you'd go to school and learn your alphabets, Mary went to her gravesite and reached up on her mother's gravestone and felt the numbers on her gravestone and the letters, and that was how she learned how to write. The first sexual encounter she had was in front of her mother's gravestone too. So all these people were dying from TB or the plague or whatever. They would end up going to the gravesite and celebrating their death and paying homage to it. And back in those days in England, if you were married, you were able to discipline your wife, because a family that wasn't disciplined would end up revolutionary, like maybe the French Revolution. So they say you could discipline your wife by beating her with a whip, as long as your whip wasn't more than half the distance of your thumb. And that comes into some saying that I don't even know about the half thumb, but if Mary was being whipped and disciplined, I could see why she would be anti-marriage. So they're all anti-marriage, which is completely like, back in the 60s with Charlie Manson and free love. And they said they experienced free love, but they found a note in Mary Shelley's work, one of her original works, that said that when they had free sex, it wasn't that enjoyable for the women, they got abused. And so she went on to write with her husband, Frankenstein. Did you know Frankenstein is the most taught novel in American colleges today? What else? Let's see. They both wrote Frankenstein together in bed. They shared a writing table that Shelley would write the thing, and then her husband would edit it. So when they look at the original manuscript, Shelley wrote about 80 or 90% of it, and you could see the husband's writing above hers where he edited some of her work. So he went on to become a famous writer because he would take credit for what she wrote because it was too controversial. So she didn't get credit till like the third draft, and they can see on the first two drafts where her writing goes and then his writing intersects. So you can see where he was editing a little bit of her work, and then later on they found that Mary Shelley wrote all his poems. So she was definitely underclassed and underlooked. And that's how I got the connection to Poe, was through, I don't remember the name, but it's Mary's mother. Okay. So she has the initials, the same initials as Mary gave the monster in Frankenstein. Those are the initials of her mother. So her mother is giving birth to the monster, which shows the women's isolation and loneliness and desperation. Their husband took off. Mary's mother had to leave with Mary and the other child and go fend for themselves. So this is not a man's story. This is a woman's story about isolation and loneliness and desperation and how to survive on their own without men controlling and manipulating them. And so I think Mary was trying to make a statement that men want to maybe get rid of women so they don't need to have women to try to control. As Mary was worried that she had killed her mother because her mother died 5 days after she was born. So she felt guilty. Well, I killed my mom. So am I going to have a child that I might not want to love because I killed my mother? Or could I have a child that maybe would kill me because I've created a monster by killing my mother? So if I have a baby, am I going to create another monster? Apparently, a lot of women died of childbirth back in the 1700s because they didn't know to wash their hands and open up the windows and get fresh air and all these kind of things that we know today. But what I can say about this program that would have been Victor Frankenstein's program was Mary Shelley was up on the Modern Science of the World. The doctors she was working with were friends with Lord Byron and his doctors, and they were actually hooking up dead frogs to electrical outlets and watching the frogs walk away. And I watched 2 lectures about this subject for 2 hours yesterday. And the professor from, I think it was Arizona State University, was lecturing on Mary Shelley. She said that Victor Frankenstein's program, how to bring the dead back to life, or messing with our DNA, which when they mess with our DNA through their stem cell research, it changes your DNA forever. So this professor, because I'm not a professor, I certainly don't have the education. This professor from Arizona State University said that Victor Frankenstein's project of how to bring people back to the dead, or how to change their DNA permanently to alter the female or male DNA structure or destructure, is alive and well today at UCLA Hospital. It's been alive and well there for over 5 years. They've been playing with stem cell research, and well, I got a new stem cell that's going to create your arm to grow off your leg, or maybe have 8 babies. You see how they've tapped into the Pandora's box? Does anybody ever talk about this? It's been going on for over 5 years. This was a tape from a professor that was 5 years old. And that's what she said, folks. So if you think I'm lying, go watch the documentary from the professor at the University of Arizona and see what she has to say about Frankenstein and Mary Shelley and what's going on at UCLA Medical Center. So if you think there's any truth in what I'm saying here, I will continue on with Mary Shelley's work, but I have to study it more because it's the most studied and taught, probably the most important novel in the history of America. So have a nice day. If you think there's any truth in what I'm saying here, please like and subscribe and share. Thank you.